This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com. I'm with one of my favorite people in the wrestling industry, Barbara Goodish, who is, of course, the widow of Bruiser Brody, Frank Goodish. But she also knew Dick the Destroyer Beyer very well. He was another legend in Japan, along with your husband. Any memories of him who passed away, unfortunately, recently?
Oh, I know. I think the memories, we all remember what an incredible gentleman that the Destroyer that he was. And it's so unfortunate that another one of our great legends have gone. And I just feel, sad for his wife, because I understand, when you lose your husband, it's a very hard thing. But coming to an event like the CAC and just sitting there and watching all the people we have lost this year it's very emotional. And this is why these are so important, because each year we lose so many during the year that it's very nice to visit with the family.
Wonderful artwork here from the Japanese. Who were the Japanese people that brought this to you tonight?
I'm not sure exactly who they were, because I cannot pronounce their names, but they're so respectful and I so appreciate them, and I wish I could give the names.
I feel the same way when I try to pronounce these Japanese names. Could your husband pronounce the names?
No, it's very hard for us to pronounce the names the right way. Pronunciation's the right way. So I thank them. I wish they were standing right here. We could put them on.
Yeah, they disappeared off. What else do they have there? Some rare pictures? How old would he have been when that picture was taken?
I know,
Oh, this is a whole magazine about him.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
There's another magazine done in, can you tell where the date is? I can't read.
It's in Japanese.
It's got to be, because look how young.
Yeah, Nick Bockwinkel's on it, Abdullah.
Yeah, this has got to be an old magazine.
Wow. They never stop giving you gifts. You can add this to the shed that's going to be worth in the millions of dollars one day.
These are precious, because when people give you a gift, it's so, how can I say that? Kind of emotional that people are still giving gifts and still being remembered. It's incredible.
I actually found the most touching scene of the Vice documentary was when you were in the ring for the Japanese ceremony that they had.
Oh, I know. When I saw some of these, it was like I was looking at somebody else. It was like, when I watched that documentary, it was like, wow. And then I realized that was my life. It was hard to do the two because of the time. Because, you forget things, you block things out when you go through a thing as traumatic as what I went through. But it was like, wow, that was a documentary of my life. Right up until that time, right up until that time. And learning a few things and everything too, so.
And you look pretty similar other than the hair. I was very impressed with your hairstyle.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for sharing with us your gifts from the Japanese. I'm sure these won't be the last gifts that you receive, but I particularly like this picture. What a great picture. Shows the family man that he was.
That's exactly right. And as I said, I'm so appreciative of everybody out there that still remembers. From my heart to yours. I love every one of you.
And they inducted Frank into the legacy wing of the WWE Hall of Fame this year. What is that exactly for those that don't know?
Well, I did not even find out until the day he was being inducted. So he's in the legacy of the World Wrestling Organization Hall of Fame. But I didn't get to see it, or I didn't really know about it.
Oh, they didn't invite you to, because you were in town that night.
No, I was not invited and did not even know.
Yeah, because you would think that would be something that they'd have to ask permission for, such as Owen Hart's widow, but that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully he gets more recognition from that company as time goes on, and more documentaries come out, like this great documentary that you're actually in on Vice.
Oh, I know, the Vice documentary. I think they did a really good job. It was well done. They were very respectful to me. They took me to Austin. I got to visit my son, who's actually for the first time in a documentary of any description.
And he did great in that.
He did great, so I'm very happy that he's now coming out. I'd love to take him to a show like this just to see how his dad is respected and is still loved after all this time. I mean, he's going to be a legacy for the rest of his life.
But I could see how that would be hard as a male young guy having to deal with that and the anger and unfortunately the bad memories that would come up. So I understand, but he was a true pro on camera.
I know, and I felt when I saw it and I was there with when he was doing the interview, I felt so sad that when he said he doesn't really have a lot of memories of his dad. He was so young when everything happened that his memories are from other people telling it. Other people are telling him all their memories and everything, and he says, I don't really have any memories. And that's very unfortunate for being one so young. But now I think with everything, with the book, and he's watched the Vice network documentary, that I think he's beginning to realize just how, his father was.
And I think that's only going to grow and grow as time goes on, as this social media grows. I'm sure if social media had existed back then, things would have turned out a lot differently. I think word would have got around. But one thing I noticed when you guys were in that shed scene where you keep all the records, I mean, a rich fan would probably pay a fortune for those training logs of your husband. You would probably never consider selling any of that, though, I imagine.
I think in life you can never say never.
Okay.
Things happen, so don't, believe me, never is for a long time. Maybe you don't know. I think he could be interested.
Well, she is Barbara Goodish on Facebook. Bruiser Brody, Hardcore Before Hardcore is the book. You can get it on Amazon. I'm actually going to put the link in the description of this video for anyone that wants to buy it. I've read it numerous times. It's a great book. Hopefully there'll be other books coming out as time goes on and the subject becomes more and more popular. Is there anywhere else people can find you on social media?
Well, Facebook.
Yeah.
And Twitter.
Twitter, what's your Twitter?
I think it's AJF Blues.
You're a music fan. I see you all the time. I always go to concerts, aren't you?
I know. I'm having my teenagehood now.
Yeah, this woman's a party animal.
No, it's about enjoy music. You have to, even with everything bad in life that we all go through, you have to still live, because that's what they would want us to do.
Well, thank you very much. Any final message to the fans here at the Cauliflower Alley 2019?
This is one of the most wonderful organizations that you could imagine. They help people, especially wrestlers who are in need, because there is no benefits, there is no help. So a lot of times they get into some really bad situations, and this organization helps them out. So this is why anybody out there, if you want to join, please join. It's $25 a year. You get a magazine 4 times a year, and you come to and share this incredible experience.
And you get to meet wonderful people like you.
You get to meet wonderful people like Hannibal.
Oh, well, I'm nice to you, but not to everyone. Keep that in mind.